This is a story called The Three Sisters, and I heard this story about 15 years ago by Peggy Bird, who was from the Santo Domingo Pueblo in New Mexico. She would, instead of saying Santo Domingo, she'd say Giwa in her traditional language. The Three Sisters starts with three sisters that are walking to the river to collect water for the day, for the tribe. And they're walking back, and they're laughing and talking, and one sister stops, and the other sisters look at her. And she said, and they go, "What's wrong?" She goes, "Shh, can you hear that?" All at once they could hear the screaming and crying coming from the river. So all of the sisters take off running to the river, and when they get there, they see these babies coming down the river, floating, screaming, drowning, and dying. And the first sister right away, she jumps into the river, and she grabs as many babies as she can, and she brings them to the shore. And she looks at her second sister and says, "Help me." So the second sister jumps in, and the first sister looks at her and says, "What are you doing?" And the second sister says, "I'm teaching them how to swim." Then they look at their third sister and they scream, "Help us!" And the third sister takes off running, and they scream, "Where are you going?" And she says, "Up the river to see where these babies are coming from and why." So the first sister represents that immediate crisis. It is our family members, it is our community members, it is law enforcement, it's EMTs, medical. It's that immediate crisis of safety. The second sister represents that survival for those victims. The third sister goes and she's looking at the root. Why are these babies are coming down these rivers? Who's throwing them in? So we look at domestic violence, and majority of the time it's our men. Our men are throwing them there. So what do? How do we help them so that they stop throwing those babies down the river? The other part to that is our children, because the children are growing up in these homes of violence, and it's recreating this whole generational cycle of coming back down the river. So if we work in tandem as first sister, second sister, third sister, that's how we will create change and stop those babies coming from down the river. So Maygrit, thank you.